Well, well, well. What do we have here? Welcome to Uncut Sports. No feelings. A lot of people, one of the main, especially a lot of Fields fanboys, aka Fields fuckboys, a lot of the times, a lot of these guys would say, well, Ryan Poles, they would use Ryan Poles as the scapegoat excuse to say, well, Ryan Post doesn't like to work with players that don't have agents, so I guess that would rule out Caleb Williams. Well, hold on just a second. It's real. This fish in for a minute. Don't throw it back in the pond yet. Come to find out, the guy that you dudes is drooling over outside of Justin, but a lot of you guys are drooling over Marvin Harrison Jr. Only to come to find out that, oh, holy crap, this dude ain't got an agent either. So does that mean you no longer want Marvin and Harrison Jr.? The guy who's, in your eyes, the true generational talent, the true best player in this coming NFL draft, that a lot of you guys are fawning over. Oh my God, he's the best prospect since Megatron. The best prospect since Terrell Owens. He has more breakaway speed than Randy Moss. According to you guys, this dude is Jesus in cleats. But you cite the situation with Roquan Smith and him not being able to come to a deal with Ryan Poles, and little whispers behind the scenes that, maybe Ryan Poles is not too crazy about working with players that don't have agents, traditional agents. And then you find out that Caleb Williams doesn't have an agent. His dad is very hands-on. All of a sudden, I don't see where did that come from. Why all of a sudden it's a problem for a young man to have his father being in his life and being a strong influence, being very influential on that young man. Why is it all of a sudden a problem? So you guys talk out of both sides of your mouths because you want to settle for mediocrity. You're in love with a mediocre Justin Fields, a guy who pretty much folds and fumbles in the second half, especially late in the fourth quarter. If you want to fumble, give it to Justin in the fourth quarter, late, and the Bears are behind and trailing. So I'll bring it full circle back to my initial question. Now that you know Marvin Harrison Jr. also does not have an agent, do you still want him? Let's read on with this article. What does it say? No agent, no problem. Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. Exceptions in the NFL draft. According to you guys. USC quarterback Caleb Williams and Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. created buzz earlier this week when news broke that the two stars were not going to hire agents for the NFL draft. This was not particularly stunning news, but part and parcel of the athlete empowerment movement that has swept into big-time college sports and is creeping into the NFL. In 2018, Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson famously announced that he was not going to hire an agent and would be represented by his mother. The move by Williams and Harrison raises the question of whether this is a trend or a blip on the screen. As much as I'm tempted to call it a trend, Jackson, Williams and Harrison may be mere blips. Well, I mean, if it shouldn't be a problem if they had the ability to separate their emotions from the business side. Because a lot of times in these negotiations and stuff, you negotiating a contract. Uh, the side that you're negotiating with, they say things to try to trigger you and get you off your game, get you a little emotional, so you might not concentrate on the fine print or something else that might be slid into the contract, and your feelings get a little touchy, a little tender, and you like, oh, this is what you think about me, and they saying that to get you off your game, so you're not able to mentally negotiate the best contract for yourself. It's all a ploy. I don't have a problem with players representing themselves instead of paying an agent. What is it, 3%, 10%, or whatever? Instead, keeping that in their pocket and doing these negotiations themselves, as long as they can separate their feelings from it. Because these teams will try to touch them feelings just to get you off your square. But other than that, I don't have a problem with it at all. It shouldn't even matter. The process should still be the same. Does the player want the contract or not? Because even if you have an agent, you're telling that agent what you want, and whatever the agent brings back to you. If the agent be like, I think we can go back and get more, and if you feel like, you know what, that's good enough, you can always tell that agent, no, I'm good with that. Tell them we good. We're gonna take that. And since the agent works for the player, the agent has to go back to the team and say, yeah, we agree to this deal. So it really shouldn't matter one way or another, because at the bottom line, at the end of the day, the player decides if they want that deal or not. So I don't see what the big hubbub is. But I just noticed a lot of Bears fans that are clamoring for Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, I don't want anybody but Marvin at number one. Anything else, Poe should be fired. When was the last time a wide receiver was drafted number one overall? It's been a long time. Very long time. I can't even, off the top of my head, I can't even think who was the last wide receiver that was taken number one overall. The answer's probably right at the tip of my tongue, but I'm having a brain fire. Put it like this: it's been a long time, because those positions in the draft, that they usually fall on the quarterback, maybe a defensive end. Those two positions right there will usually be number one. Defensive tackle, 3 technique. That's usually your number one pick right there. It's very rare that it's a wide receiver. I don't care how he's built. I don't care what his name is, what you guys think. And a lot of that, I think, is because of what his name is and who his dad is. So if that wasn't his dad, like I said before, if his name was Ralph Nobody, would you guys be clamoring for him like you are? Would you look at him like, oh, he's a genetic freak? The Bears would be crazy not to draft him. Would you still be looking at him like that? I highly doubt it. Kind of hard to believe, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, but because he's the son of Marvin Harrison, great wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, all of a sudden, his son, okay, that's a son. He's kind of built, so hey, he has speed, he has hands. Wow. He's the greatest prospect I've ever seen. He's definitely the real generational talent. But a lot of y'all, as soon as you find out that Caleb Williams didn't have an agent First thing you did was, see, just like Roquan Smith. The Bears ain't gonna negotiate with him, so it's time for us to move on. Why doesn't he have an agent? What's wrong with him? Then when you found out Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't have an agent, crickets. So quiet, you couldn't even hear a gnat taking a dump. But let me guess, you still want Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Now you don't care if a player has an agent or not. You'll take him now, huh? See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of you Bear fans, I think your brain cells have been replaced by maggots. Just slowly corroding your brain. Anyway, I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description box down below. You guys can finish reading it for yourself. I just wanted to come on here and make a very quick and potent point to a lot of Bears fans out there that was hating on Caleb Williams for not having an agent. And those same people were praying to the altar of Marvin Harrison Jr. as the so-called true generational talent. Do you still want him? Guess time will tell. Yo, if you like my content, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Share this video any and everywhere. Support the channel. All donations will be greatly appreciated. You can hit up the Cash App, $Cobra Clutch 357. That being said, I'm out.